Hi everybody, it's Monday night and that means it's the four horsemen of the Toon with me, Paul, PD Proudlock, John Sinclair and Barry. We'll be right back very soon. Everybody, it's that time of the week again, and it's the four horsemen of the Toon. And as you can see, there's only three horsemen at the minute because Barry was there finishing work and is just sorting out the kids and everything like that. So at the moment, it's just the three horsemen: me, Peter, and John. How we doing, guys?
Very well, very well.
Very well, man. How we doing?
Good, good. Basically, before we start, I'm just going to give you details of the competition that we're going to start running because obviously I said last week that there was a Newcastle shirt to be won. That's it here. It's a retro Alan Shearer one. It does have Shearer on the back, as you can see as well. I believe it's a size XL. Now, what I've decided to do is this is going to be basically raffle. What I'm going to do is everybody can pay. It's £5 per entry, so all the money is going to Parkinson's UK, and it will all be done through PayPal. All you need to do is you can pay £5, 10, or 15, whatever you want. But every £5 you pay, you'll get an entry into the draw. The draw will be in 2 weeks' time. Live on the show, so somebody will win this shirt, and there is the PayPal address that you need to send if you go through friends and family and just donate however many pounds you want to. But like I said, it's £5 per entry, and just put a comment Shearer shirt, and then I'll know who it is. I'll know who the entrance is. So if you pay £10, then obviously your name goes in the hat twice to win it. So like I say, I'm just donating all the money from this shirt is going to Parkinson's UK. So, like I say, that's the PayPal address there. I'll flash it up a bit later on as well, so you can have a look as well. But any more money that I get through Super Chats will also be going to 80% of Parkinson's and 20% of the channel itself. So I'll leave that on for a few minutes anyway. So thank you in advance. If you want to win the shirt, like I say, go through friends and family on PayPal and make the donation. £5 per entry, and each £5 you make gets your name in the hat. Right, guys, if we start talking about the weekend's game, shite again, I suppose. Peter, we'll start with you. What did you make of that?
Well, yeah, as you've just said, pretty shite. The game, you could tell it lacked quality once again. I mean, the first shot was through Fraser, but then my next best effort didn't come right until the second half when Murphy hit the crossbar. And yeah, it's just not good enough. They take the lead and you're thinking, oh God, here we go, we've lost. Until that cross from Murphy came in and the captain came to the rescue. But as I mentioned, is it good enough? Why not? Not. We need the wins. We need wins to move away from that relegation zone. Steve Bruce coming out said he was pleased again. I mean, how way, man. What, another poxy draw?
It's not good enough, is it? I mean, John, obviously I watched the game with you, and we did think after that goal went in for Villa, the deflected Ollie Watkins goal, and we thought that was it. Obviously Lascelles crept up with an equaliser, but we didn't even celebrate, did we? It was just sort of, oh my God, it's a 1-1 draw at home to Villa. It's not good enough. And then obviously Brighton winning has just put us deeper in the shit.
You're absolutely right, mate. I mean, we watched that game together on Friday, didn't we? And you only had, 3 shots on target? I mean, I thought it was a poor game, again. I mean, we had a lot of the ball, but we just couldn't, there's just no final ball at the end of the day. Joelinton, to be fair, I think he did okay. And I'm surprised I said that. He did okay. But there's 3 things he didn't have. He didn't have the finishing article. He didn't believe in himself. And his decision making is not great. Do you know what I mean? But I was just relieved we got that goal. You just said there, you just mentioned that we didn't celebrate. We didn't, but there was only 3 players who celebrated with themselves. The rest of them just didn't want to know. And when you get that, then you know that they don't really want to play for boosts. But is the point well gained, or is that point just papering over the cracks because you needed to in that game?
It's papering over the cracks. Good evening, Baz.
Evening, guys. Sorry, mate.
How are you doing? Now, as you will see, that Barry is wearing a cap. Now, I don't have the video because the video wouldn't download for some painful reason. However, I have took some images, and this is currently Barry's hair.
Wow.
So he has actually shaved it, not to the point where it's to the bone, but he has shaved it. So Barry, there you go. He's removed his hat, and all the fluffy bits have now gone. He looks like he looks like a golden retriever that's been to the dog groomers. Nice and all the fairy wispy bits have gone, and he's now, he doesn't have to scratch anymore because all the hairy bits have gone, causing the uproar. Barry, well done to you, my man. We've got a few comments already coming in. Well, I'm not. How can I be blamed? You're in York, I'm in Durham. It's a long way to cut your hair. Chippers has come in with one already, guys. Was in Blythe Butchers the other day, and John was riding Joelinton shouting, "Squeal like a pig, boy," and Joelinton was shouting, "Wee," and John said, "Louder, bitch." Chippers, it's too early for that kind of stuff on the show, mate. Barry, what did you think of the game on Friday? Because obviously, if you have to.
I had him on one of my shows, and he is exactly what I expected. He looks like a mix of like Stewie and the creator of Family Guy, doesn't he? I was like, yes, that is
he does.
He just looks exactly like you would expect him to look. I was well impressed.
Yeah, he does. I had him on my fan forum last week, and I think Seth MacFarlane. I had him on my fan forum last week. He's come back on again tomorrow night, I believe. So that should be. I actually had Chitters and Archer on at the same time, which was, my God, that was an experience. Barry, just to get your thoughts on the game, really. I mean, I've heard Peters and John's. I mean, I watched the game with John, obviously, and I watched the rerun of your fan forum. Your show afterwards. Once I got mine finished, so it was really good. I mean, what do you think? Where do we go?
Well, to be honest with you, I think we're expecting too much of the squad that we've got at the moment. Missing our front three, there is nothing else to create chances, and that's our problem. If we can get Almiron back for the Brighton game, we've got a slight chance of beating them. Because at the moment, for me, Brighton's a no-hoper for me. The way they're playing football, the way they beat Southampton, them starting to score goals, they've changed the system. They look a lot better. So right now, if someone said, would you take a point? I would say yes, because of the players that we're missing. And I mean, we look good but again, his substitutions. This is the one thing that drives me nuts about Steve Bruce. He reacts to a bad situation in a football match, then he brings his subs on instead of bringing his subs on to influence the game. If he brought Carroll on a half an hour earlier, might be in a different game. That's the problem.
He's reactive, not proactive, isn't he? And that's the problem with Steve Bruce. Lee says, good evening, everyone. Looking forward to the show tonight, especially the journeys of Joelinton. Lee also says, lads, what do you make of ASM visiting his family back in France? It's about the 4th time he has done it this season, and apparently this time nobody with authority within the club knew where he was. Now, I do want to say something on this. I may shock a few people here, but I'm just going to say it anyway, because I shoot from the hip. I think it's disgusting what he's done, going back to France. I did read on Twitter that somebody then stuck up for him saying, well, he might have a specialist over in France. What a load of shit, by the way. Anyone he needs to see regarding his injury is right here in this country. And, it's all right for everyone else to be under lockdown rules and things like that, but he just hops on a bloody plane and flies over to France. I think it's shocking. I think it's wrong. And I think his attitude is badly off here. Now, whether or not he's fed up with the club, which I have a feeling he is since the Southampton game when all that kicked off with Steve Bruce, I think something is going on there. I don't think Saint-Maximin Saint-Maximin's happy anymore. Don't get us wrong. I think he loves the club and he loves the fans, but he's just bewildered by everything. But I think it is completely wrong what he's done. I do not agree with it. I don't know what. There's no reason, no rhyme or wherefore that he should be jumping on a plane going to France. Peter?
Well, exactly. Yeah. I mean, if we can't go on holiday to other countries, why should he be allowed? I mean,
yeah.
And to prediction, without the club knowing, you never know, the club could really clamp down on that and possibly fine him for that as well. Because think about it. Look at how unfair it is to the people. We're still under lockdown rules. Okay, yes, some have started to ease a bit now. But still, have they introduced flights back to let people go? No, not yet at all.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
And no, definitely not. And it's totally wrong. It is totally wrong. But man, as you mentioned, if it's for an injury, you've definitely got places to go to try and help with his injury. But yeah, if he is frustrated, you can understand him. But not to go out the country when we're still in a pandemic at this moment of time, and particularly when no one is allowed on flights anywhere at all.
I mean, I'm really pissed off with it, to be honest. John, what's your thoughts on it?
You know what it is, right? It's the first time I heard this, but let me tell you something, right? You're right. If you got injury, you do it in this country, right? You don't do it abroad. You just don't. Not like I agree with Pete. In the pandemic, right? Why is he allowed to fly out to France? I blame the club. I'm not going to blame him. I'll blame the club for allowing it to happen. Do you know what I mean? The club used to be.
Well, the club didn't know he was going, John. The club didn't know he was going. The club didn't know anything about it.
Well, that's shocking then. That's absolutely shocking. What they should do now, right, is have a word with ASM and find out what's going on. Why did he go without our permission? They need to do that. And he's gone against the club's rules, really. Then you should find him. Do you know what I mean? Just find him, right? Make sure he doesn't do it again, right? And you just said it there. I think he'd be away in the summer anyway. Do you know what? I'd get rid of him, right? If he don't want to be at the club. And if he stay up, go out and get someone to replace him called Dwight McNeil. Get him in. Do you know what I mean? That ain't gonna happen. Do you know what I mean? But I think he probably if he misses France that much, let him go back to France. With only one player is gonna work their butts out 110%. Do you know what I mean? But it seems that he's been getting away with it now, and it's just not on. Paul, I'm with you.
Well, the one thing for me is that he hasn't been playing well lately either. When he came back from the injury last time, he there was flashes there, but he wasn't really putting his heart and soul into it. And I just think has this guy, as brilliant as he is when he's on the ball, Barry, but has this guy got an attitude problem that maybe is now starting to filter through a little bit?
This is why Raffle didn't want to sign him in the first place, and why they had the arguments and he left. He didn't want Joelinton, he didn't want ASM because of his bad attitude at his old club. And John, by the way, nice selling tactics there to get Joelinton's to get ASM's price up a little bit. I knew his agent as well. But yeah, wow. I mean, ASM for me, I mean, he's only looked good against Southampton, didn't he, before he was injured? He had a good game. I think his ambition is bigger than what the club is, and I think he wants to move now. I think you are right. He loves the fans. If he's got an injury and the surgeons and he needs operation or whatever, he needs to go abroad for it. I agree with that, but that's got to be with the club. The club have got to decide where he should go to get his treatment. Like with Alan Shearer, he went to America, didn't he, to get his cruciate ligaments?
Yeah.
Yes. Has to be a club decision. Him going on his own to France, he's probably gone off shagging someone and then seeing his mum and giving her some flowers and flown back to the UK. It's terrible. Yeah. I agree with you.
I mean, that was the issue, because if he'd gone for an injury, the club would have known about it. If he'd gone to see a specialist, then the club would have known about it. What happened is he's just jumped on a plane and gone to France, and I think it's an absolute disgrace. And you know what? I know ASM's got a lot of fans out there, and I know he's thought very highly of, etc., etc. I think very highly of him as well, but I'll say how it is, and if I think it's wrong, I'll say it's wrong, and I just don't agree with it. Just because he's a footballer doesn't give him specialised treatment with the whole COVID thing. He's putting himself at risk. He's putting his family at risk.
Yeah, but he's already had COVID as well.
Yeah.
Well, he's had
So
COVID as well.
he's putting the team at risk. So, you know, the whole thing is a sham. Jake says, hopefully we can do you all a favour against Fulham.
Sorry, very quickly. The worst thing about it as well is France is on the list that you have to self-isolate for 10 days once you've been in the country as well. So if he was fit for the game at the weekend, he wouldn't be able to play. Yeah,
exactly. But the thing is, France are in a similar situation to Italy at the moment. They are locking down again because of the possibility of a third wave. Because I don't think that the vaccine has been rolled out as quickly over there that it has over here, which makes a change that we're first to do something. But you know, Italy has took precautions. Italy has shut down schools, etc. again as a precaution just for a couple of weeks to make sure that the third wave doesn't happen. Now, when we've got idiots like footballers who just think they're above the law and above this whole COVID thing, like I say, if any of the ASM fans out there want to come at me with it, then that's fine. But you cannot justify what he's done. Jody says, evening all, Brighton played some wonderful football yesterday, and if they beat us on Saturday, that will leave us and Fulham to fight for the 17th place. And at the moment, I strongly doubt it will be us. I mean, it is a worry. Brighton played very, very well. And as we know, Brighton plays some very, very good football. And you know, the situation we find ourselves in now because of the Brighton win, it just makes this game absolutely massive, Pete.
Well, yes, it is, and that's why it's got to be a must-win. The thing is, Bruce should definitely go for lose or for don't get 3 points, but would he go? I think I'm now getting to the point where I'm thinking he's not going to go anymore. That is the thing. But yeah, I think if we lose, I think we could be in right within a chance.
I want him gone. I want the man gone. I think my feelings are pretty well known on it. I can't stand the guy. I want him gone. He's terrible for Newcastle. Yeah. I'm going to pre-warn you that Chippers has put another comment in here, and it's not the cleanest. So if you are of a shocking manner, then please look away now and turn your headphones or whatever you're listening off so the people in your household cannot hear this. John gave Joelinton a pokey bum wanking and Summers. It's all on tape. Chippers, I'm going to have you arrested, my man. I think the time has come to get you arrested. I don't know what planet you actually come from, but it's genuinely scaring me now. Geordie says 2 wins in 19 matches. That says it all. Everybody's now just... John says Chippers Joelinton reckons he did more than just that. Archer says, good evening, lads. I believe Joelinton is dressing up Mr. Blobby as Hitler. Almighty.
Did you see
Chippers
that going around? With
which
Raffle,
one?
The Raffle one that used. It looks like he was doing a Hitler salute, and I think it's a Macam disguised as a Joe.
Yeah,
he sent it out
I've
and
seen
said,
that.
"Look at this." I was like, "Oh my god, what an idiot!"
Yeah. It's a load of shite, to be honest. It's just somebody trying to wind Newcastle fan base up. Ross says, lads, do you reckon we will go down if we lose against Brighton? John, what do you think? Because, I mean, I think that the way we played against Villa gave me absolutely no heart. You know, like I said to you on Friday when we were doing the watch-along, it was basically, you know, we were watching a team that was supposed to be in relegation trouble. And if any neutral was watching that game who didn't know what position Newcastle were in the league, they would look at that game and think, well, hang on a second, Newcastle's supposed to be in relegation trouble. You know, they're playing like they're in mid-table and safe.
Wow. Well, going back to what you said, if we get beat on Saturday against Brighton, I mean, we are going to be in huge trouble because I don't know how we're going to get out of it. If you look at the fixtures we got left now, right, we've got to play about 5-6 teams vying for the Champions League spot. Do you know what I mean? We talk about Man City, Liverpool, Leicester, Arsenal, Spurs, yeah? And the way we played on Saturday, there's just no fight there. Do you know, there's just no fight at all whatsoever. Someone looks scared of the ball. John Joe Shelvey, right? He gets foul away 3 or 4 times, right? It doesn't chase back, you know? And we need fighters in that team. We need fighters in the team. You know, you got to sort yourself out. Just show the passion, desire, and the hunger. If you haven't got those in a relegation dogfight, then you're wimps. And then you
exactly.
And do you know what I mean?
Terrible on Saturday.
It's you just said that it's shocking. And you know what it is, right? There'll be people watching around the world, right? Now, watching Newcastle, right? And they're thinking, hang on a minute. It's supposed to be the most exciting in the world for me, Italian footballers. But let me run to you guys, right? Would you be excited watching Newcastle at the minute? Because I won't be.
No,
definitely not. Definitely not.
What I will touch on is Shelvey now. I think we now need to offload him in the summer now. I think he hasn't got the legs anymore. As you can tell, his passing was awful. He's been a great servant. I give him credit for that. But, you know, there's a time where a line should be drawn and you come out with the saying, unfortunately, there are times where good things have to come to an end. And Shelvey, I think, should now be offloaded. Been a great servant, but I think he's past the lad's past it now.
I agree.
I mean, it was frustrating watching him on Friday because he went back to that stage of how he used to be when he just used to stand there and pretend that he's gone to try and win the ball, you know, and he's like doing the splits and things like that as if to say, well, I tried, I just couldn't get there. And, you know, we don't need that at the minute. That is not what Newcastle United need. My worry is, Barry, that if we went down, there's going to be the exodus of the really top players. John Joe Shelvey is probably going to remain at the club because he'll see it as an opportunity that he's going to get first team football. You know, he's going to be one of the star men because obviously of who he is. And he'll play in the Championship quite happily because he'll just, you know, for me, John Joe hasn't got really any ambition to further his career. He's come to the end of it now. And it'll be perfect for him just staying in the Championship with us.
Yeah, hasn't he been offered a new contract as well? Although considering
he signed it one last year.
So we are stuck with him. I mean, it's very hard to offload a player that's just signed a new contract, to be fair. So they've obviously seen him and thought, well, if we do go down, we do need to keep him because he's going to have a chance of creating things for us in the Championship. But you are right. I mean, I watched him and that first half, his passing was just unbelievably bad. It was so frustrating to watch. Even a 10-yard pass for him, you'll nail it to feet 9 times out of 10. He was like 2 out of 10. He was terrible. So, and I love John Joe Shelvey. I used to love watching him play football. It's hard to say.
I actually give him a 2 rating on my player ratings.
There you are. So I agree with Pete. Good things do come to an end, and I think you are right. I think it's time to cash in if we can. There might be a lower league Premier League team that comes up from the Championship who'll be interested in signing him, and I think he would go if he was given the chance because it's not looking good for us, is it?
No. Joelinton has sent a message in saying, John Nicanamendo me e naked El Clasico. Whatever that means. I presume you know the Joelinton smooth talk, John, so we'll leave it at that. Guys, my PayPal address is on the screen. As I mentioned at the start of the show, we have a competition going on to win this Newcastle United shirt. It is brand new. It hasn't been worn, and it does have Alan Shearer's name on the back. What we are doing with this is basically it is £5 per entry, and it must go through PayPal. That's why I have my PayPal address on the screen, because if you go through friends and family and go through PayPal that way, if you just put in the comments Shearer's shirt, I'll know that you are wanting to be entered into the competition. We will make the draw in 2 weeks' time live on this show. So, like I say, if you pay £10, then you get £2. You get two. Your name goes in the hat twice, basically. So it's £5 accumulations. You just go to PayPal, go to friends and donate or send money, friends and family. And that's the email address that you need to send it to. If you have any problems, do let us know. But it is pretty straightforward on PayPal to go onto their website and send money. And it'll ask you for the email address and then send it through friends and family. So there's no charges on there and you'll be entered in. So it's £5 per entry. So if you send 20 quid, that's 4 times in the hat. Or if you do it over a couple of weeks, then obviously you've got a better chance of winning. So that's why the PayPal address is staying on the screen. If you want to win that shirt, then go ahead and do it. Keeping it. Toon says, Steve Bruce at next press conference. Well, you know, I'm going to protect our amazing 3-game unbeaten streak and attempt to avoid defeat against an amazing Brighton team by playing 5 at the back. Archer says, I wonder what Steve Bruce has got to say in his press conference against Brighton. If only if I had 11 Joelintons. Well, you know, Steve Bruce has a dildo in his pocket.
Oh, God.
Chipper says, Peter, is it true you were asked to Steve Bruce's before COVID for a seductive dinner?
I'm
not sure. Yeah, Joelinton says, Egg Chippers, please don't disrespect me papa. Okay. Steve Bruce says, I'm glad that we have been able to continue our unbeaten run, and I hope it continues on Saturday. I mean, this was a really annoying thing, Peter, that he said at the end of the game, really, wasn't it, about this unbeaten streak? It's 2 wins in 19. He fails to see that. And, basically the last 3 games are games that we should have won. We should have been, these are the games that we have targeted for 3 points to pull ourselves away from the relegation zone. Wolves, Aston Villa, and Brighton. Now, obviously, we've got 2 points from those 2 games. We now come up against a very, very good footballing side in Brighton, and we cannot write them off. People say they don't score goals. Fair enough. They scored 2 at Southampton yesterday, and there were good goals at that, and they played some brilliant football as well.
Yep, that is the thing. I mean, coming out with things like that, I mean, they're draws, they're not wins, they're bloody draws. Honestly.
Yeah, Jake's in there, Peter, tactics sheet.
Well, go back to the game. When Joelinton got into a good position, what did he do wrong?
Well, he didn't shoot.
And the thing is, what did I write in my quick thoughts? Unless if it was attacked by Steve Bruce.
Yeah.
Same thing. I don't want Joelinton to shoot.
Yeah, go on then. Give it the big rip up. Here it goes. Hey, it's gone again. I mean, John, obviously, on a serious note, with Joelinton, I mean, getting into those areas, if he just shot the ball, Friday night could have been a very different story, because we could be sitting here thinking, right, we've got 3 points, and Joelinton's actually had a fantastic game. Now, believe it or not, I gave Joelinton man of the match on Friday in my player ratings. I gave him an 8. And I think it would have been a 9 or a 10 had he scored a goal. He was doing the hard parts. He was winning the ball. He was taking players on, and it's the best I've seen him do that since he's been at the club, quite frankly. And getting into them positions, John, just pull the trigger.
He needs to. I mean, his confidence is shot in a minute when they're constantly shooting. Do you know what I mean? It's just so frustrating. Yeah. But I think he's trying to be unselfish. He needs to be selfish when he gets into the box and have a go. And if he does that and he hits the post, or the keeper saves it, or whoever goes past the post, we just said, okay, he missed that chance. But listen, he's getting there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, Joelinton, I mean, that's his best, for me, that's his best game for a while. I mean, you give him an 8. If I haven't done a player ratings, I would probably wouldn't give him a 7. That's because of his decision making as well. But at the end of the day, if we just get a couple of goals from him, right, and actually win the game, then we could actually turn around to each other and just say, you know what, Joelinton is actually playing for Newcastle United now, and actually starting to score goals. But he needs to believe himself. I'm just going back to decision making just now. It's a decision making that create this, but he needs to be. Look, we know he's a good finisher when he puts his mind to it, but at the end of the day, I just think he needs to believe himself more.
Yeah.
If he does that,
yeah. Chipper says, John, did you make love to Joelinton to the song Despacito? Unbelievable. Joelinton says, Chippers, we did. Okay, there you go. There's your answer. They eat them morning, noon, evening, and night. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. I think there's a conversation within a conversation going on in the comments at the minute. Chipper says, Joelinton's milkshakes bring John to the yard. Liam says, our best chance was when they nearly scored an own goal. I mean, we just didn't create now, Barry. I mean, we didn't test their goalkeeper. We got into some very good positions. We didn't test the goalkeeper. We played all right. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't like we didn't play anything. But again, we didn't test their goalkeeper.
I think it's harsh to say the best chance was an own goal, though, when Murphy hit the crossbar and he should have buried it. That was our best chance. He should have slotted that in the corner. It should have been 1-0 to us.
Yeah.
And that was the best chance of the game. And then Joelinton's obviously, when he ran it from the right and decided to cut it back rather than smashing it through the goalkeeper's legs or smashing it in the top corner. I mean, John, you say he's a good finisher. I've never seen him finish his dinner yet.
What I'm saying is, if you look at last season, right? I mean, I know it's against Morecambe, I know it's against Oxford or that sort of thing, but he's finished well against when he played for Hoffenheim as well. He's a neat finisher. Then
he didn't score any goals, though.
John, he scored 8 goals for Hoffenheim. Where are you getting this from?
Yeah. What I'm saying is, right? We put his mind to it. He can finish, but he hasn't got the confidence. I'm not defending the guy, but all I'm saying
yes, you are.
Yes, you are. Trying to get his price up.
But the thing is, though, right? When you're a £40 million player, you got to be able to finish. You know what I mean?
Right. So now you've gone back to calling him a £40 million player as well as a great finisher. Why? Are you onto something with Joelinton again here? Is there a big money move coming in, John? Is that why? I mean, I didn't think I'd ever hear the words "good finisher" and Joelinton in the same sentence, to be honest, mate. And I think you've been smoking something.
What I'm saying is against Morecambe and against Oxford, right? Okay.
Yes, John. Morecambe and Oxford.
Yeah, but
that's his level.
Yeah,
John,
you're right.
John, is your COVID injection kicking in there and playing with your mind?
I think it
is. Listen, all I say is he needs to.
It has.
Yeah.
Are you starting to get a bit of a sweat on there, John?
Nah.
Huh?
Only on the beach.
Yeah. Jake says, Paul, you were right about Carroll leading up to the goal. He actually has a word with Lascelles just before the ball in, and they swap places and drag defenders out of position. Why doesn't Carroll start? And I said that in my match reaction show as well, Peter, about Andy Carroll coming on and making a difference, because the defenders were drawn to him for that Murphy cross, which enabled Lascelles to steal a yard in front of his marker. I don't understand why Andy Carroll didn't come on earlier, because that game was crying out for Andy Carroll. Whether you like him or not, that was the kind of game that needed Andy Carroll in the penalty area.
Yeah, I think it did now. I said he's not one for start games now because he hasn't got much pace, but yeah, I think you could tell easily that you needed him on a lot earlier into the second half, because the Villa defenders were going to start targeting him if crosses were going to come into the box. Yeah. So, yeah.
Definitely. Thomas says Barry looks like Jack Colback. Speaking of Jack Colback.
Where is he? He's a Forest.
Here we go.
Yay!
Oh, God.
Have you noticed Peter gets photographs with all the absolute shite from Newcastle United Football Club? Was that a highlight of the day, Peter?
Oh, God. This is going to come back to orders. Oh, yeah.
It will now. Everybody's seen that, I'll tell you. Yeah. Good evening, Martin. Hope you're well, mate. Kobe says you should name your show The Four Joes of the Linton. No chance, because there's only one fan of Joe Linton on this show, and he's in the bottom corner.
Yeah.
Chipper says, I am a fine specimen of a lad. Yeah, okay, Chippers, whatever. Taylor says, Peter and Kraft have spotted riding the bull at the fair, only to realise they were having an interesting time alongside John and Joelinton making out on the dance floor. Oh, dear. Thomas says, Joelinton is behind John's door. I am sure he is super buffed with some sweaty thighs, I guess. David says, evening, Paul, Barry, John. Yeah. Chipper says, I've heard Joelinton's nickname is the Raging Bull in the bedroom after him and John's passionate night. It started way too early. We haven't even got halfway through the bloody show. James says Steve Bruce has to find a system that works for the players who he currently has fit, not a system which fits the likes of ASM, Almiron and Wilson. And this is a point we spoke about on Friday, John, was basically he's playing a system that he said he didn't want to change because of, the guys getting used to it. But the front three who enjoy that system were all injured. So this is where you test your manager and test what other tactics or formations you can come up with to try and beat the opposition. And he can't. He just cannot change to. He can't change to suit who he's playing. You know, it's just one way or no way with Steve Bruce, and he's got no idea how to change it.
He's so stubborn, and he's absolutely stubborn. I mean, the thing is, I mean, I said on another show last night, I said, I'll give you an example quickly, right? Carlo, right, tells his players, where do you want to play? Where's your best position? Where do you want to be? And he tells the manager, and he's happy to put him in that position. With Steve Bruce, right, I've never seen Fraser play as a centre forward or false nine, we want to call it, right? And they're just all over the place. You see Dwight Gill on the wing, you see Joelinton on the wing as well. They're all over the shop. I think the players haven't got a clue where they're at. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But going back, if that system doesn't work, then he's got to change it again to suit the players. For me, play a 4-2-3-1. Yeah? Play Fraser and Murphy on the wings, Joelinton as a 10 role, and Gill up top. Do you know what I mean? Or even Carroll. Yeah. But he hasn't got a clue. All the split strikers, he's making it up as it goes and flipping along, you know. And it gets our fans confused as well.
Yes. The players... I mean, Barry, what did you? Yeah. Without a doubt. Barry, what did you think about Dwight Gale's position? Because he didn't learn anything from the Chelsea game. He stuck Dwight Gale out on the right. This time he was stuck out on the left, and he's just made no impact, has he? And for me, Dwight Gale does not look bothered. He doesn't look interested.
No, he doesn't. He's got a contract, isn't he? So apparently Galatasaray is sniffing around him. So he'll be off, which is a shame because if we go down, we're going to need his goals in the Championship. So this is why we're in a rock and a hard place. We've got so many people going on a contract, but we're in a situation where we don't know what league we're going to be in. So we don't know which ones to give contracts to and which ones to let go. It's an absolute nightmare. I'll go back to tactics with Steve Bruce. The reason why he hasn't got another clue how to make any tactics is because he's put Graham Jones in the stands again. He's the man who's given the tactics. And if he hasn't got Graham Jones next to him, he doesn't know what to do, does he? And that's why we're failing. You know, he doesn't want to change the system. Gale out on the left was terrible. He hardly touched the ball. I think I read a stat, something that he had the second least touches of the ball in the whole 90 minutes, along with Dubravka. You know, that's terrible.
Can I say
it doesn't
something?
Really surprise me. Yeah, go on, John.
So they got Graham Jones in, right, to ask one of the assistant coaches, right? Are they both? Are they not getting along? I don't think Bruce and Jones getting on at all. I really don't. That's my opinion. Do you know what I mean? But something.
I actually agree with you, John.
Something needs to happen now because
I definitely.
Something has to happen because if this carries on, right, bit of disagreements here and there, right, it's going to end up with a car crash. Do you know what I mean? Something needs to happen.
Yeah.
If you lose on Saturday, get Bruce out, get Jones in, and I can guarantee you now the players will work their butts up for this guy and keep us up.
I think they do have a bit of respect for Graham Jones, but I definitely agree with you, John, that I don't think Jones and Steve Bruce get along. And Steve Bruce could say Jones coming in was his idea. All he wants till the cows come home. He just didn't. I mean, no way. Ollie says, evening, gents. Pretty sure I've seen John and Joelinton down the local hot tub shop testing each other's jets. Agree with the ASM comments about France, Paul. Oh, my God. Ross says, Steve Bruce is ruining my love for this club. He ruins the players. He's ruined the football tactics. Just really don't understand how he's still at the club. I don't get how he's still at the club. I don't understand what Mike Ashley has seen in this guy to be able to keep him on. I mean, Peter, his record is abysmal. It's 2 wins in 19. You know, any other Premier League club would have got shot by now. You know, even Sheffield United parted ways with Wilder. You know, I know they're in a bit of a worse situation than us, but if you look back at what Chris Wilder's done for that club, you know, he's sort of bowed out gracefully, I guess. But with Steve Bruce, you know, he's not going anywhere. But could it be that, you know, if we lose against Brighton, which is a distinct possibility at the minute, if we lose that game, we've got a 2-week break, you know, before we play Tottenham. Is that the time that Mike Ashley is looking at pulling the trigger? Because I said a couple of weeks ago, I think that this may well be the gap or the chance that Mike Ashley is looking at to bring somebody else in, or maybe bump Jones up to number one?
Well, we'll wait and find out. I must say, it's possible he could go for loose to Brighton, but would it surprise me if he was to stay? Well, not really. I mean, after that, it's about how many games we've got left after Brighton now?
9.
9 games.
9.
Well, we'll wait and see. He should have been gone a long time ago. That was the problem. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see.
It's certainly worrying.
If he does go, great.
Paul,
but if he doesn't, I'll not be shocked.
Yeah. Paul says, hi lads, how much of a financial disaster will it be if we get relegated? Heard none of the players got relegation clauses in their contracts, makes me so angry. Yeah, it's pissed me off as well, to be honest, when I heard this. Barry, I'll come to you on this one about the no relegation clauses. I mean, that could come to seriously bite us in the arse.
It could, but it also kind of makes sure we've got a squad for next season as well. I think they put the clauses in to make the club look like it was a stable club and it was going to stay in the Premier League. So it was kind of a way of saying, look, we're not going to get relegated. Come here. We're going to be mid-table. We're pushing up higher, which obviously we've been lying to the players since day one, because that's not true, is it really? He just wants to finish 17th, 16th, whatever it is to stay up.
Yeah.
17th, isn't it? And I kind of like the clause in it, but it is, when we go down, it's going to be very difficult to shift players if they're not going to get offered the money that they're on now. Like Joelinton, probably one of the highest paid players.
He is. He's on 80 grand a week. 80 grand a week in the Championship, man. Christ almighty. So,
no one's going to buy it.
No, exactly. John says, even though what's the betting that players like ASM, Miggy and Wilson will not be at our club next season, we will be in the Championship anyway. I think certainly with Wilson, he's had a serious wake-up call about what things are like up here. And certainly, we've got him under a decent contract, so we're going to have an awful lot of money for him if we stay in the Premier League anyway. Taylor, thanks very much for the super chat, mate. Very, very much appreciated. Chipper says, I bet Joelinton worked your butt, John. Chippers, I think you should crawl back into your little tent outside on Summers, mate, and just have a bit of a cuddle with Archer, and then get on with the rest of the evening. Liam says Mike Ashley leaves the country in a pandemic as well. He does, yes, he does. So
he does,
for business.
I mean, he claims it's for business, but these business meetings, Barry, take place in awfully tropical countries. When he could be meeting in somewhere like He doesn't tend to go to like Hungary or Bulgaria or anything like that for these meetings. It's always like Mauritius and things like that, which is
he's been to Dubai.
Dubai, all these nice places.
I'm pretty sure he's got a holiday home in Miami, I believe, as well.
Yeah. MB7 says it's got to the point where I hope we get relegated just in spite of Steve Bruce if he ain't going to be sacked. The problem is, if we do go down, there is a massive chance that we're going to keep Steve Bruce, and that is the worrying thing, because Mike Ashley may just turn around and say, we said it before, Steve Bruce has done a great job in the Championship with other clubs, then why not just keep him on? It's a safer bet, it saves him money, and because he's just that kind of guy. ASM was clearly discussing his move away from our club. That wouldn't really surprise me. Good evening, Truls. Hope you're well, mate. Lee says both Pardew and Bruce couldn't manage Ben Arthur with his attitude problems, so doubt Bruce could deal with the ASM. It does seem to be a French thing, John, doesn't it?
It does. We had it off quite a few French players we had before. Didier Domi is one of them. And then Gourmas, another one as well. And yeah, the fact of the matter is, I don't know what's wrong with these French players kicking off when things doesn't go well. Even Laurent Robert as well, when he tried to change him to Inter Milan years ago, until the fact about his attitude, and just said, you know what, we don't want him. And Bobby Robson said he don't want him to go anywhere. And since then, he's been at Newcastle for quite a long time. But listen, we have some decent French players in the club anyway, and with good attitude, but you do get one or twos as well. They've got the talent, got the ability, but it's their attitude as well. They should do due diligence before they sign that player, sort of thing, you know what I mean? But could you imagine now, Kevin Keegan, ASM, man, play for Kevin Keegan. Kevin Keegan wouldn't put up with that at all whatsoever. And going back to what you said about Rafa Benitez as well, that's why Rafa did not want ASM in the first place. You know what I mean? Because there's that, and now it's coming to proof. It's proof. What has gone on at the club? Why are they not clamping down on this?
I know. I don't understand it. I really don't. Tony, Leeds fan, says under 23s today versus us. Wow, more bottle than your first team and fit. We were lucky to win. Hardest game of the season by far. First team should be made to watch that twice. Well, that says it all, doesn't it? When the under 23s are actually, I think outperforming our first team. Sorry,
Atsu scored in that game as well.
Yeah, he did. He did, yeah. Because I've seen it on Twitter. The Chronicle were reporting that Atsu's making a push to get back in the first team squad. Not a chance we will see him again. MB7, Brighton, always best since we've been in the Premier League together. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough game. Boris Johnson or the cabbage? Wow, that's a tough one, that. That's a real... Ryan, good evening, mate. I hope you're well over there in Canada. He says, I think if Fulham beat Leeds on Friday, we are in the relegation zone come the time we play against Brighton. Yes, we are. Yeah, that will just heap the pressure even more. And let's face it, Fulham do have a good chance of beating Leeds. I don't mean that disrespectfully to all the Leeds fans who are following this channel. You know what I mean, though. It just turned up that Fulham are just one of them teams that could just really... I mean, we've got to be big Leeds fans on Friday. It's as simple as that. We have to be, and just hope that Leeds turn it on like we know they can, and put Leeds to the sword.
Yeah, I thought Leeds well against Chelsea. I thought just they didn't get the goal ruled off, and I thought Leeds were very unlucky not to come away with a win.
Yeah,
is Bamford fit for the game against Fulham?
I'm not sure. One of our Leeds followers will tell us very shortly with that, Barry, when I've got through the 3,000 comments that have come in. We've got nearly 100 people watching, so it's massive viewing figures again tonight, so thank you very much, everybody. 1892 Mag says, not only is ASM a risk to his teammates, but he is also a risk to the general public. Last time he decided to have an outing to France, he was spotted in Asda up on his return the very same day. I mean, David made a good point in the comments before when he said that, Joelinton got fined for going for a haircut. So, what should be the case with the SM? He should be no different than being fined. John?
Yep, totally agree. One rule for one for the other. It's as simple as that. And I hope, like I said, the club now find out, grab him, and just give him around to the kitchen. Just say, look, you can't be doing this and that sort of thing. You got to stay with 10 days. You're going to get fined. Well, let's hope now the club follow that up. If they don't, then if I was Joelinton, I'll be hat off.
Yeah. Barry, you doing a 1-0 sign?
Yeah, Liverpool.
Liverpool have scored.
Yeah, 1-0 up against Wolves.
Right. Kobe says, opinions on Sunderland winning the pizza trophy, Barry?
I don't know if you've seen my tweet, but I put a good one out where the one with from Zappa when he's found porn for the first time on the computer, and I just put Sunderland fans celebrating the pizza trophy while spreading it all over social media and covered in spunk everywhere, which I thought was quite funny.
Oh dear God! Jordy says, "What is the size of the trophy? Is it a 6 or 12 inch?" I mean, we always say you can only beat who's in front of you, and Sunderland were entered into that cup competition simply because they're in League One. I tweeted out yesterday, I said, congratulations to them, but that could be us in a couple of seasons, and right. If we were playing in the Papa John's Trophy final, I know for a fact that we would sell our side of Wembley out. There is no doubt. Everybody's mocking them, saying it's a pizza trophy, and even I was as well. But let's be real here. If it was us in that situation, there'd be 50,000 Geordies in London. There is no doubt about that, because it's a Wembley final, and the way we are as fans, we would be there. There is no doubt about that. Of course, it's a day out. It's a very drunken day out for a lot of people as well. MB7 says ASM was told he can leave at the end of the season the day he signed that new contract. I heard rumours about that, but I'm not so sure. I guess we will have to see at the end of the season, won't we? Chipper says Shelvey may as well whatever that says, a Harry Potter spin-off as Voldemort, as he is effing useless. Yeah, I mean, he's keeping it to him. Says, do you feel the love and passion has all been sucked dry under Bruce, and it's gotten to the point where we can't bring ourselves to celebrate when we score a goal? It's true, Peter. I mean, I don't know how you felt when the goal went in. I mean, me and John were pretty stale, if I'm honest, because, you know, we were suddenly just thinking we're going to lose the game, and then as soon as Lascelles scored, it was like, right, it's 1-1, but it's not exactly the result we wanted.
I was just like, oh, it's in. But that was it pretty much. I mean, yeah, you can tell Bruce is, he's definitely sucking the whole life and the enjoyment out of the football club. Yes, we all know Mike Ashley has done his part, but what Bruce is doing is just adding his poison into it now. And it's just getting bigger and bigger now. That is the thing.
Yeah. Thank you very much, the Doctor, for £2 towards the super chat. I really do appreciate that. Whose Windows peak is deeper, you or top right? I'm not sure what you mean by window peak. Anybody know what that means?
No.
I would have thought John would. It's his neck of the woods.
Yeah. The only peeking going on is the one behind John's door, which we believe to be Joelinton himself. Shelvey has been a lazy servant. Bishop McAllister said, or McAllister Bishop, I presume, I'm not sure, but Shelvey said in an interview post-Leeds that he told Rodrigo to stop. Shelley said in an interview post-Leeds that he told Rodrigo to stop running and was amazed that the manager told him to do it. Said he couldn't play for Leeds, just seems like he can't be asked. I'm not sure what he means, Shelvey. I presume it's Shelvey he means.
It's Shelvey, yeah. Shelvey said to the players when he stopped running around, and that obviously got picked up by someone and it got spread around, and he's basically said he couldn't play for Leeds because he's not fit enough. He hasn't got the legs. Yeah,
definitely. Jake says, thing is, if you go down and don't come back up immediately, how long before Shelvey's wages become too much? I'm more bothered about Joelinton's because I don't think we can actually get... that's the problem for me. Taylor says, show a picture of a tiger with Down syndrome and you have Steve Bruce.
Oh, wow. God.
Terrible.
Wow. Barry, do you want to look that one up?
Google it.
Kenneth says, Shelvey's just going through the motions, as is a few of the players. Bruce doesn't give a shit. He wants out himself. I'm convinced he wants out. It does. I think Steve Bruce does want out, John, and he's just hanging on for his pay packet, isn't he? Because he just doesn't look interested.
Do you know what it is? I've said that for months now. He should have got sacked at the end of the season. I've always said that after Liverpool, yeah? And I said that if he stays, we're going to be in huge trouble. But let me tell you something, right? Steve Bruce's health is not good, you know? He doesn't look well. He looks stressed. He looks unhappy, sort of thing. If he really cares about that club, right, then he should walk away now. Because at the end of the day, right, he ain't happy. The players don't want to play for him. And it's all evident. We watch it ourselves, don't we? They don't want to play for the guy.
Yeah.
The bottom line is just he needs to walk away, but he's putting money first before his health. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But let's hope after Saturday, when we get beat, this is going to be our last game. And Ash has got to make a decision. Just pay the $4 million, get him out.
Get him out. Even if Jones comes in as number one, you know, I don't really mind that. Oh, Barry's got one.
I don't know if I agree with this one, but they do look a little bit weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've never actually thought of one in real life, but never mind. Martin says just got a. Yeah, neither did I. Martin says just got a ticket, Paul. Yeah, Martin's just bought a ticket for the Newcastle United shirt that I'm giving away. That's it there. It's a brand new shirt, and it's got Shearer 9 on the back. If you want to be entered into this competition, it is all through PayPal. My PayPal address is on the screen. What you need to do is sign into PayPal or sign up and just go through send money, and then you get the option for friends and family. If you send it through friends and family to that email address, it's £5 per entry. So if you send a tenner, you get 2 entries in. The draw's in 2 weeks' time live on this show. So you can pay now or later on the week or anytime over the next 2 weeks. It is £5 a shot. Just put in the comments Shearer's shirt and then whatever other comments you want to make. But that's fine, just so I know what it's for. And then you'll all be in the hat. So if you pay 20 quid. That's four times your name will go into the hat. And like I say, we'll draw it live on this show in 2 weeks' time. So thank you in advance for that. It's all going to Parkinson's UK, which is a charity very, very close to my heart for obvious reasons. So please do get cracking with that. And hopefully you may win that shirt. I believe it's a size XL, but hey, you can frame it or anything, you know what I mean? So there it is. Thank you very much in advance for that. Anyway, let's crack on with the comments. Lee says, Bruce is not the man to get the best out of Joelinton like Nagelsmann did at Hoffenheim. Yeah. Steve Bruce, Nagelsmann, completely different kettles of fish. But then again, John says that Joelinton is a goal scorer. So, you know, he is a hitman and it may come good shortly. Kendo, good evening. Most I've seen Joelinton actually in the box. I blame the Sunderland mould, Bruce, for no service, no direction, for playing out of role. I mean, Peter, what did you think about Fraser playing in the middle?
That was a strange one, I must say. He's a winger. He's a winger for a reason. I thought he was also one of our better players on Friday, and Bruce taking him off. I mean, how way, man. I was impressed with what Fraser was doing. He was getting forward. You could tell he was trying to create something. But why did Bruce sub him off? Well, I mean,
we missed a trick, you know, man. And Villa were poor. Villa were really poor on Friday.
With it. You can tell they miss Grealish as well.
Of course they do.
You can tell they're not that good.
You're gonna miss your best player, aren't you? You know, I mean, we miss ours obviously, but I just think Villa, you know, a lot goes through Jack Grealish. He creates a lot for them. He's the kind of engine room kind of player, and they definitely missed him. 71 games, 7 goals for Joelinton. That says it all. Truth tells us Brighton ripped us apart earlier this season, and Lamptey was brilliant. Luckily, Lamptey's out for the season, so he won't be involved.
And apparently, I think that Connolly's not playing as well.
Yeah, but they've still got some decent players.
Do I? And Connolly was another one who broke COVID rules as well. I don't know if you heard.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4. John has got Joelinton flat out on the kitchen floor. Brilliant. Kendo says, lol, this stream always makes Blue Mondays black and white. Well, thank you, Kendo. I hope we'll make people smile. John says Joelinton could not finish his dinner. It does frustrate me. It really does. Liam says in the Bundesliga you have time on the ball. In the Premier League you don't, and that's a good point, Barry. You don't get the time on the ball that you do in these other leagues across Europe. You know, yes, people can say that. I mean, for me, the Premier League isn't the best league in the world at the minute, not by a long shot. I think, you know, Germany, I mean, I watch a lot of German football, and I think Germany is a fantastic league to watch because, you know, even the lower league teams still try and play football. You know, they're not like ours where they just punt it forward. They all try and get the ball down and play. And that's what we don't see that in this country, and very rarely with Newcastle United.
No, that's why our league's a bit special, though, isn't it? Because, you know, the lower league teams can beat a higher league team like Man City. Look at some of the results they had, and look at the results Liverpool are getting. In the German league, you normally find that the two at the top are very good and they don't really get beat. Look at Schalke's form. I think they've won 1 game all season.
Yeah. I mean, they've been terrible.
They still play football, but they're losing games like worse than us. It's actually really, really bad. But I get your point. I mean, it is nice to watch because it's not as frantic, but I love the Premier League for what it is, and it's a lot faster. And
don't get us wrong, I love the Premier League, but I love the Premier League. It's just when people come out and say it's the best league in the world, you know, I mean, I'm not sure anymore. It may well become that again once fans get back in the stadiums, but you know, I just really enjoy the Bundesliga at the minute. Lee says, never mind war flags. John will be starting his own flag display with I Love Joelinton in the Leazer's End. John, actually, if a few people have actually come on my show and have actually, you know, started asking if you can stand behind the goal with an I Love Joelinton flag. Just if we can get special permission from Newcastle United to get you into the ground for match days. Just pretend you're a photographer or something and get you into the ground. That would be very interesting. Joelinton, did you give John a Cleveland steamer? Right. I've waited till after 9 o'clock. Well, it's 9 o'clock now, so I'm going to show this. I found out what a Cleveland Steamer is, guys. Paul, who donated the Newcastle shirt for the competition. This is apparently a Cleveland Steamer.
Oh, jeez.
Right, see, I spoke to a professional cricketer from the West Indies, and they call it over there, they call it a pancake.
Oh, really?
You get the woman to squash it around on the chest.
Oh, God.
That came from, you ever heard of a cricketer called Franklin Rose, the fast bowler for the West Indies?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
That was him.
I'm not even going to ask how you found that out, Barry. I really don't want to know how you found that out.
I was at a party and he asked one of my flatmates if he would go on a date, and I told her, I said, "This is the guy who likes the pancake." She went out the room.
No offense. I don't think I'd be doing a Cleveland steamer ever in my life if I was in a relationship.
No, I don't. No, I think I would be asked to leave. I think. Ken says, "Is John not talking about the bedroom when he says Joelinton is a good finisher?" Just saying. Oh dear. John, you've really put yourself in it now, mate. Kenneth says Joelinton is the sort of guy, if he threw a dart at the floor, you would miss. Definitely. The doctor says, Jack, are you the up kid? Well, there's no Jack on here, so I don't know who you're talking about, Mr. Doctor Man. But Kendo says that PD callback photo, lol. Yeah, I mean, Peter just looks like a sweet little kid, doesn't he? Just saying, please, mister, can I have your autograph?
Oh, Jesus.
If anybody missed it, we may as well show it again, Peter, because it's just there. It is.
What's Peter going to do now? Jack callback. Photos. Oh,
well, I didn't actually get that. I mean, people keep sending them to me. What am I to do? You know, if they get sent to me. Joelinton says, "Yeah, I have Jono, a Cleveland steamer. Then he broke my back end so bad I had to go to the local car garage to get my back end fixed." Oh my God! Where is Peter's pick with Joelinton? He hasn't got one yet, and I don't think he will be getting one. To be quite honest, I think Peter will be trying to hide every photo he gets from now on. James says Peter loves X-Mac, and Speddy has a picture of Kevin Phillips under his pillow. Prepare, Peter. Just prepare yourself. Bruce is the kind of guy who drinks half pints. Half pint shandies. Hey, there's nothing wrong with shandies. Martin says Paul's trying to raise £600 for Patton's charity. Please donate to Paul's PayPal. Thanks very much, Martin. Appreciate that, mate. Yeah, just keep £5 donations. Just put in the comments Shearer's shirt and through PayPal, friends and family. Just make sure you go through friends and family as well, though. Joel says Bruce arrested for bird watching. He was in the female wardrobe at the local swim hall. Liam says Gale is a striker, not a winger.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's a striker, but he just doesn't look interested at the minute. He doesn't look interested, though. Even if he was playing as a striker, he does not have any interest in Newcastle United at the minute. And that's just my opinion. John and Joelinton love watching Peppa Pig. Right, okay, that's fair enough. Thanks, Martin. Appreciate it. Jake says, on the bright side, lads, whether you stay up or go down, you're building a loyal fan base of your own to keep you company. Yeah, thanks very much, mate. Annie, good evening, Annie. This show should be given a knighthood. That would be nice. It would be nice to think we can get some sort of award ceremony for this show.
He's a Bristol City fan, by the way.
He is, and they're doing very well at the minute. Gale playing on the wing. Has he ever played there prior to Bruce? I don't think so, no. Gale is championship at best. Exactly, that's my opinion. Bruce's team selection is so bad, it's bordering on deliberate sabotage. I mean, I kind of agree with that. I mean, is he deliberately picking a team to lose, John?
Yeah, I think he is, That's why he's playing.
Take your time answering it. I know you've got busy stuff going on there.
No, I'm just saying that.
Hello, John.
He's definitely doing it deliberately and getting himself the sack. And I agree. That's why he's playing Gale on the left-hand side. He's this stupid split striker sort of thing. He's just trying to mess up formation. And listen, what can he do? I mean, the guy on South, he's not happy. So he's doing his very best to not to win games so he can get himself to sack. So I hope he gets sacked ASAP.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Yeah,
that's it. Jake, I know you're messaging Annie there, just asking, thoughts on Newcastle playing your lot next season. We're not down yet, mate. Let's not start saying things like that, or you'll be suspended from the comments for 5 minutes. You'll be put in the penalty box. Bruce plays FIFA Sims to plan for our games. Would that really surprise anybody? Would it really? Dave, good evening. Even lads, sorry a bit late. That's all right, Dave, as long as you've joined us. That's the main thing. But make this the last time you're late, mate. Jay says, no doubt Jesus Hendrick will come back for the Brighton game.
Oh, Christ.
Peter, I know you're such a fan of Jeff Hendrick, so I'll let you comment on that.
I bloody hope not. I mean, the bloke offers bugger all. He's been a waste of a signing. Why did we sign him? Oh, please do not play him on. If we play him on Saturday, oh God, I think we'll not be unexpected now.
He goes to get Longstaff to sign a 2-year deal, okay? And then he goes to sign Hendrick on a free. So he plays Hendrick before Matty. I just don't get it at all. Matty offers more. He's got energy. He just loves the club and he's 110%, yeah? But this guy, do you know what I mean? Jimmy Hendrick, I'd rather take Jimmy Hendrick, to be honest with you. He's got more.
I know.
The Burnley
Charles has come out with a good point there.
They lost him, though, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I know, but it's Burnley. I mean, they play a very, very different style of football, to be honest. I mean, they actually try and score goals. Charles says, no owner or manager will ever kill my love for the club, but Ashley and Bruce out. Exactly. And no owner or manager will ever kill my love for the club, which is why I'm going back as soon as I can to get back into St. James's Park. And secondly, I just want to see John with his little sign saying how much he loves Joelinton sitting behind the goal in the Gallagher. Kendo says, amazing PR stunt by Ashley. He's recruited someone more hated than him to remove himself from the public backlash. That's an interesting theory. Very, very interesting theory. Cheers, Martin, again. I mean, Barry, I mean, does he... I mean, Mike Ashley's obviously not really bothered about the situation at the minute. He's, unless he comes out with something if we lose to Brighton, which is, like we've said, a distinct possibility. He's kept very quiet on it, but it has actually taken the heat off him a little bit, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. And maybe that's why he's still sticking with them, because every time you go on Twitter now, it's Bruce out, Bruce out, Bruce out. And before the season started, it was let's get rid of Ashley, the takeover, and it's all died down. And until we get rid of the cancer that is Mike Ashley, we're going to keep carrying on seeing idiots like Steve Bruce managing our club, and by the looks of it, it could be in the Championship.
I mean, John makes a good point there. Graham Jones has been stopped from fixing things because of Bruce's arrogance. It's that simple. And you have to tend to agree with that, Barry.
Yeah, he was in the stands again, wasn't he? I don't understand why. The man on the touchline, he gives out orders. He's passionate about the club. He's a Geordie himself. He's more of a Geordie than Steve Bruce will ever be. I don't understand why he's been put in the stands again, other than Bruce doesn't like him. And John said that earlier. There must be something going on. And that's why he's dismissed him to the stands.
Corby says there, would you take a 3-0 loss at Brighton if it meant Bruce would be sacked and Jones as interim manager, or 11-0 awful win? I'm taking he means a 1-0. I can't say it being 11. Or a 1-0 awful win, but Bruce is manager until the end of the season. Well, if you're asking me that question, Corby, I don't want Newcastle to ever lose. And I don't care whether it be, Steve Bruce, it saves his job or not. But the fact of the matter is, we need 3 points. We need to stay in this division. And that's where I want to see my club in the Premier League. So, no, I wouldn't want to see us get beat just to lose Steve Bruce. I'm a Newcastle fan, and as a fan, I want to see us win games. As a fan, I want to see us pull away from the crap that we're in. Do I believe Bruce is the man to get us out of that? Then no. But at the same time, I can never go against my team to lose. That's just how it is. And I would never, ever go against Newcastle to lose. MB7 says Bruce should have been sacked before the West Brom game. Perfect opportunity to let Jones take over, give players a lift and have a new manager bounce. I think they could still get that bounce, Peter. If John, if the if he's sacked after Brighton, there's a 2-week gap, so that's a real opportunity to get a new manager bounce. But technically, it's not too late either, because if you look at the point situation, it's not too late. So that new manager bounce could come in the 2 weeks between games.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think the 2-week international break is the perfect time to get the players to know, like Graham Jones, how he wants to play, how they're set up, etc., and the tactics, and formation, so which I think is great. And then when it's game time, then they know what it's all about. But you're right. I mean, it's the perfect time. But you got to lose to Brighton first before they sack, and then gives us a chance to get up there, sort of. But it's not too late, right? We've still got this points to play for. We can still win games, right? I think probably 8 more points will probably be enough to keep us up in this league. But where are we going to find these 8 points from?
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's actually finding them.
I just don't think under Bruce, I just don't think we get enough points to stay up. But under Graham Jones, it's a possibility because you know why? Because I think the players will give up 10% to play for Graham and then see where it takes at the end of it. But if Graham Jones takes over, I think we stay up.
Yeah. I've seen this a few times actually. Trains on this. Bruce stood with a cup on the pitch in '96, singing the "Cheer Up, Kevin Keegan" song "Sad Geordie Bastard." He has no affinity to NUFC. The man is stealing a living from a club he has publicly shown contempt for. I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all because that is just who Steve Bruce is, and it's never going to change. We know he's not a Newcastle United fan. We know that. And he just keeps making an arse of himself by actually saying that he is. Kendo says Bruce should have been sacked for his diabolical cup performance. Can't think of another club or manager as forgiven for an embarrassing display. I mean, Peter, every display is embarrassing at the minute. The whole world is on us because of these live games now, because of the COVID situation. So a lot more people are seeing Newcastle United than what probably normally would. And God Almighty, I mean, they'll see Newcastle play and they'll just want to switch off because it's terrible to watch.
Well, exactly. I mean, the last game against Villa and the game against West Brom, was there any quality shown in the game? Pretty much. Why was the hell? It was majority drab. It was just like slow at times. No one getting on the end of things. I mean, it's the performances are going to send people to sleep. And they're going to send glass eyes to sleep. I mean, it is that hard and bad to watch. And so boring.
Barry, there's another one for you to look up, mate. A sea cow.
A sea cow. Apparently, Paul J sent you a picture of another.
Oh, I've seen it.
Steamer. So
yeah, that's the one I got. That's the one I've put up. That's the one I put up.
No, there's a new one. He's just sent you it now.
I can't get on Twitter when I'm streaming because my computer just dies. I'll have a look at it later. Chutel says Bruce's only quality is he's supposed to be a good man manager. He's lost the changing room. He's got to go. John, is he a good man manager?
Oh, definitely not. Not after the way he's treated players like Richie and the Longstaffs and the ASMs as well. This manager, he's not my manager. But at the end of the day, he's totally lost it. He's lost everything. And like I said many a time, he has to go because he's lost everything. And he's just the worst manager I've ever come across in Newcastle United in many years. And the sooner he goes, the better.
We've got a novel from Cal here. Good evening, Cal. Evening, lads. Have to tell you about my weekend antics. Stuck another £20 on me Tinder membership and met a lass, an absolute Toon fanatic. Little flat above Blythe Butchers. Anyway, she stripped off, Toon tattoos on her arms, took her bra off, and there was a Shearer tattoo with his left hand up on her boob. Gutierrez under her armpit with a Spider-Man mask on. Took her bottoms off, and there was Denver Bar tattoos on her thigh kicking a ball. Well, she took her knickers off and bent. And the rest is yet to come, I believe.
Oh, come on.
Part 2 will be soon.
Can't even
I know.
Right.
Oh, I think Barry's for the sequel.
I've got no idea what they are.
We've got the sea cow, have we?
Yeah.
Can you zoom in a bit? Can you get it any closer, Barry?
That's as close as it'll go, mate. It's right next to it. I've got no... these pictures are getting worse.
Interesting. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Guys, come on. We need
that monkey, is it?
Yeah, come on. We need better from you guys. We need better. You're starting to slack out there, guys. John and Joelinton were dogging whilst catching blobfish. Chippers is back. Tom says, would you play Gale through the middle on Saturday with Carroll playing and Jacob Murphy? I don't want Gale in the team. I mean, that's I don't want Gale anywhere near the start lineup. I'd play Andy Carroll simply because I think he'll cause defences a lot of problems. Jacob Murphy should play. He deserves a start because of the way he's been playing. Every time he's come on, he's done a job this season as far as I'm concerned. And the one thing about Jacob Murphy is it doesn't matter if he doesn't score, he keeps on trying. Now, a lot of people say, well, he should have scored on Friday night when he curled that one off the bar. I just think that was unlucky. I mean, if any other player had hit the bar, everybody would be saying it was unlucky. He did try and bend it around the keeper. He just put it a little bit too high and hit the bar. But it was a beautiful cross for Lascelles' goal. So I think he should be one of the first names on the team sheet, John.
Oh, no question about it, because if Tolly plays, he gives it 110%. And look, I know he's out of contract at the end of the season, but I still keep him because he could be an asset. He could be a good squad player. But at this stage now, I'll say, look, keep him in the team. He has to play because he's the one who can make things happen. And I like wingers that take on players and put the cross in as well. That's how we win games. But yeah, definitely keep him in. And but can you see Bruce starting him off? Probably not. He'll probably stick to the same team again.
If we go down, Jacob Murphy becomes a star player in the Championship.
He's out.
I think
Lee says, is this a YouTube version of Babe Station? Reference Joelinton. No, this is nothing to do with Babe Station. Unfortunately, we can't help absolute sickly-minded people like Chippers and Archer, etc., sending in comments regarding John and Joelinton. Speaking of Chippers, Papa John Linton gave Sunderland his 12-inch trophy. He's just got to make it.
That one that just went past, is that about the fixture change so fans can get back into the stadium?
Yeah, fixture changes both on Sky Sports. Tottenham Hotspur home, Sunday the 4th of April, kick-off. Burnley away, Sunday the 11th of April with a 12 o'clock kick-off. Well, at least they're not ridiculously late kick-offs again.
I just heard the last two games of the season, because they were going to allow fans in for the last game, weren't they? But they were going to push the second last game back as well. So it makes it fair that there's a home and an away game with fans in. So.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Jody says, would anyone take Chris Wilder? Yes. I've already said no. I don't want him. I don't think he'd inspire anybody. I mean, yes, he'd come in and kick some players up the arse, but I don't think he'd give them the motivation to stay up. That's my opinion. Peter?
I actually would, to be honest. Okay, he's not had it this season, but I know he goes free at the back, but I think you can certainly go out. You can tell he's turned to teams to attack them. Well, take, for example, when we played Sheffield United. What happened in that game? They went out and pressed us from start to finish.
Yeah.
Yes, it was only a penalty, but God almighty. So, yes, would I give Chris Wilder a chance? Yes, I would, actually.
Yeah. Martin says, I've supported NUFC for over 50 years. Bruce, without doubt, is the worst manager I've seen. Not just his bad tactics, but his snide comments and management totally inept. Yes, he is totally inept. Barry, would you take Wilder?
I would, yeah. Just on the basis of the way I've seen how Sheffield United have folded even worse against Leicester. It looks like they're very, very disappointed they've lost their manager. And I think if we go down, he could be the man to bring us straight back up.
Fair enough. Archer says we need to win on Saturday, but that was shocking. But the way Joelinton runs, the man has got shit in his pants. Fair enough. Thanks, Archer. John, would you take Wilder?
At this stage, I would, yes, because look, he does try to play attacking football as well. But I heard people say he plays a hoofball as well, but he actually doesn't. But and if you do get relegated and he's been linked, I'll take him. But he's not a yes man, and he'll want assurances as well before he takes the job on. And I reckon that'll happen because when he left Sheffield United, I mean, I heard that he's going to be down to head coach. He didn't want that. He wanted to take control of the transfers as well, and they said no. And this is what I heard, but it just walked away. Just you know what, I took the club fast I could. I just got to walk away. But he would need control of the club, and also he owns the insurances as well.
Yeah. Joelinton says, me and John love the Bundesliga. I don't think Peter's clicked onto that.
Oh, God.
Brilliant.
Martin says, Joelinton 3 goals in 60 league games and he's still got the number 9 shirt on his back. Unbelievable. That really pays me off every single week, actually. The fact that he's got the number 9 shirt. Chipper says, John and Joelinton recreating the scene with Whitney Houston and Kevin Costner off The Bodyguard. Mike Ashley has been Cleveland steaming us. Mike Ashley's been Cleveland steaming us for 14 years. That's very true, actually. Oh God, call me an ambulance, I can't stop. PD, I'll buy your Jack Callback autograph off you, 50 pence or best offer. It's Easter, grab yourselves a Cleveland pancake. Oh, Kendo, don't you get stepped down to that level. Kobe says, have you heard the news on game weeks 27 being moved later to get fans? And yeah, we just mentioned that. Yeah. Chipper says, I bet Peter has a pick with Silvio Maric.
No, I don't.
Is that true?
No, not with Silvio Maric.
Chipper says, John uses phone as a vibrator and Joelinton controls it.
I nearly came close just to bit me drink out there.
You did. Troll says, Knights of the Square Table. Thanks, mate. Fulham will beat Leeds. We are fooked. Yes, we are. OBE for the Toon, the 4 horsemen of the Toon. Thanks, Martin. Good evening, Gordon. Hope you're well, mate. Gil never given a chance. Oh, I'm not having that. He's had plenty of chances. He's not a Premier League striker. But again, people have their own opinions and everybody's quite welcome to them. Thanks, Martin. Lee says, anyone watched We Are the Geordies yet? If so, what did you make of it? I haven't watched that yet.
I enjoyed it.
What did you make of it, Barry?
It's a very small production, so it's nothing like you would think of. If you've seen the Spurs one, How Are the Coys and all that sort of stuff, it's a little bit different because it's fan made. So they go around and follow about 4 or 5 different fans and they go through their history a bit and how we won the championship under Raffle. It was a good watch. It brought back some good memories. It's just a shame we're watching this shit now.
Yeah. Gary says there's a horse running at Cheltenham this week and being tipped as a good thing. Monkfish. I couldn't believe it. Blobfish's brother at Cheltenham.
That is a very good horse, actually.
Thomas says, I remember you, Peter, when we signed Hendrick, you were looking forward to seeing him play. Now look at him.
Yeah, well, when you sign players, you want to try and give them a chance at first, but
exactly,
it's been 2 games too many. He's been underperforming.
Yeah. Liam says, I will travel from London to Newcastle just to see the Love Joelinton display from John. Archer says, I believe Joelinton has ordered a mankini ready to come on the pitch while his pubes get blown away.
Oh man,
Archer. Pre-season was an eye-opener when we lost 5-1 to Warnocksbury. Yeah, we spoke about that last week. It was pretty bleak, to be honest. These bloody comments, man, flying in tonight. John, why does Blythe Butchers have strippers poles in? Do you make Joelinton dance like a bitch throwing dollar bills? I would take a win in 3 points at Brighton. Martin says 25 years this week, Paul, since the Riverside was demolished. Very sad, mate. Yes, it is. 25 years since Durham Ice Rink was demolished. It seems like yesterday. Incredibly makes you feel old. Liam says, will Mike Ashley want a 3rd relegation as he wants to sell in the Premier League? He's, like we say, he's playing Russian roulette. It's just the way he is. Geordie says 4 relegations in 114 years prior to Ashley, and there's a possibility of 3 relegations in the space of just 14 years. I mean, Barry, that really hits home, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I think I put those stats out a couple of weeks ago, just showing where we finished before Mike Ashley came into the club, and then where we've been finishing in the last 14 years. It's, I think, one top 10 in 14 years, 2 relegations, possibly 3. It's just absolutely diabolical for a club the size that we are. You know, you look at the stadium; it's in a unique position in the city. Every time I come home on the train, I look for it and see it, go over the bridges. It makes me smile, and then I realise I'm going to watch the crap that I'm watching. So It hits home
definitely.
even more when you talk about it, doesn't it? It's like, oh god.
Oh yeah,
like
every time,
years.
every time.
How have we put up with 14 years of this? I don't get it.
I know. It's disgraceful, really. Michael says, how important do you think us not getting any wins from the last 3 games will come at the end of the season? I believe that was 6 points dropped from those games due to Bruce being a coward, especially the last 2 games. We spoke about it before, and I think this run of games that we've had, Peter, was the chance for us to pull away, and we haven't done it.
Exactly, yes. I mean, we've either it's just been so lackluster, the quality's not been there, or we're just giving away goals that are simply preventable. I mean, the Wolves game had plenty of chances to win, but we conceded a goal that could have been prevented. Did stop the cross, and it's a free header. That has also been another part of our downfall as well.
You'd think that Bruce being a defender, playing where he did.
Isn't it?
You what, Barry?
Our goal difference is terrible as well.
Yeah, it's hideous. I mean, that could be used as an extra point come the end of the season, which is why Fulham have an advantage. It's it's just the way it is. Barry, have you had your haircut? Yes, he has. Trey and Son, Google Les Dawson and Sissy, and it's Bruce.
Oh God, I'll have a look.
Les Dawson.
Go on, you take that one. I'm watching the game.
Les Dawson has been the one that I've thought of for a while. It looked like him. Morlock, have you met any more footballers? He's calling you Morlock now, Peter.
It's that cup.
Morlock. So,
oh, here we go. Come
he's
on,
going to spit. He's going to spit. He can't hold it. Oh, brilliant. He's gone. Oh, God. Come on, then.
Breathe, Pete, breathe.
Oh, Jesus.
Paul, give him the shirt. Give him the shirt.
Oh, bloody hell. Oh, dear me. It's hot enough under these lights as it is. Never mind losing me plot. Jesus Christ.
Screenshot that. Save it as our icon on messages now. That is brilliant.
Yeah, without a doubt. That is brilliant. Michael, I think Bruce has come out earlier and said it's going to be too early for him, so I don't think Almiron can play. He may be on the bench. He's certainly not be starting. Carl said, oh, here you go. Carl's finishing his story. Lad, she bent over, dropped her knickers, parted her bum cheeks, and there was a tattoo of Steve Bruce eating a kebab. Oh, dear me. What has this show become? Dave says a sea cow is better known as a manatee, native to Florida. Yeah, I've seen them. Yeah. I've seen them. Kenneth says, I personally think Bruce will retire when he gets the push. He will know he's finished and no one will touch him. That's why he wants his payoff. We've said that before, haven't we, lads? I mean, we know that if Steve Bruce gets fired, Johnny's not going to get another job, is he?
Oh, definitely not. I think he's done. Completely utter done. He'll not get another top club in the Premier League. Let's put it that way. He is finished. Thing is, though, as well, this is the biggest job he's ever had, and he's just messing that one up as well, isn't he? So, that he's done.
It's a bit like Graham Souness, isn't it?
Yes. Sorry, I can't stop that. I've lost the plot here. Bede says John and Joelinton were caught reenacting Dallas Does Doggy Style. Shame Joelinton couldn't hit the glory hole. It's just getting worse. Oh, seriously. What is actually Bruce's best managerial record? The answer to that is Kendo. He doesn't have one. Simple as that, really. I'd rather have Gene Wilder than Chris Wilder, says Chippers. Archer says the only good finisher Joelinton has is dyeing his pubes with pink spots and waxes his crack.
Is this a football show?
Purely says, why do you think Wilder won't inspire the players? It's just my opinion. I just think I may be wrong. I just think just the way he comes across sometimes, I just think, is he really the man that could get us out of the crap that we're in? I'm not so sure. Maybe, further down the line, if we didn't have a takeover, then maybe give him a shot. If we go down, for instance, and we don't get a takeover, I think Chris Wilder would be a fantastic manager to come in. But now, for these last few games of the season, to get us out the crap, no, I don't. But next season, certainly, if we go down and we don't get a takeover, and he gets rid of Bruce, then Chris Wilder would be a good man to come in for me, without a shadow of a doubt. Geordie says, if Fulham versus Newcastle last game of the season is a must-win for both sides, how would it be fair to have 10,000 Fulham fans and no Newcastle? I guess that's just a sign of the times, Geordie. But to be honest, if that was the case, we've only got ourselves to blame. It's over a full season, you know what I mean? And I just think that is just the case. We'd have 10,000 at home the game before. Would that be 3 points maybe to stretch us away? You never know. Tom says, John, have you had any Brazilian sausage yet from Blythe Butchers?
Have we got a sponsorship deal yet?
Nothing yet. I am working on it, though. There's a few people helping me behind the scenes, but nothing as yet. Kenneth says, now you know what happened to Zippy and Bungle. It was Mike Ashley and Steve Bruce. Jesus Christ. Kendo says, even Savi and Atsu must be wondering why I can't get into this Cleveland team. Yeah, good point. Saul says, could be possible to have a time where Derby we could win next season if we go down and the Mackems come up. Yeah, we mentioned that last week as well. I'll hate that, Peter, if that's the case. I mean, can you speak now? Have you soaked your whole computer?
Yeah, no, it's all fine now. It's possible. I think they are within a chance of getting to the championship this Sunderland. But, oh, God. The only thing I would hate is if we keep losing against them.
It'd be great to have a derby again, though. I've missed them.
It would be great to have a derby, but not in the championship, man. It's a Premier League derby, that. It's not a championship derby. It just isn't. That's what'll piss me off. John and Joelinton had a threesome with a blobfish. Kobe says, Mike Ashley is so focused on arbitration, he'll probably think we're already on 38 points. I don't think Mike Ashley knows where we are in the league at the minute. Martin says, if we're in the bottom three on Saturday, will Ashley sack Bruce with 10 games left, or will it be too late? We said this before. I think he will fire the trigger. I've always believed that this is the time where, he's got an opportunity to pull the trigger and get somebody in to the training ground and give him 2 weeks to work with the players before our next game, which is against Spurs. So for me, it's a massive game, that. Kendo says, impressed with Lascelles' performance returning from injury and driving NUFC back to undeserved draws. John, how do you think that Lascelles has performed?
I think he's done okay, actually, if I'm honest with you. I think he's defended well. He had a good game against against the Wolves. I think he's played really well. But against West Brom, at times and moments, I feel a little bit clumsy on the ball. But when defending easily, he did okay. But yeah, he's just done okay, really, sort of thing, like 7 out of 10. And, trying to get back to
Isn't your second top goal scorer now?
2 goals.
Along with Hendrick.
Oh, God. That just get worse, doesn't it? Tom says, this show is the best thing ever. Thanks very much, Tom. Appreciate that. Cheers, Martin. Thank you. Right, we've got about just under half an hour left of the show. So just once again, guys, we are giving away a Newcastle United shirt on this show. The draw will be made in 2 weeks' time. It's for this Alan Shearer shirt. It's a size XL, but like I say, if you're bigger or smaller than that, you could always think about framing it and put it towards your Newcastle United collection. It does have Shearer's name and number 9 on the back as well. Now, how you can win this is you go to PayPal and you go to friends. You go to send money. The email address on the screen is what you need to send it to through friends and family. You just go ditchy_1276 at iCloud.com. That is my PayPal address. Make sure you put it under friends and family. It's £5 to enter, and every £5 accumulation after that gets you an extra name in the hat. So if you paid a tenner, you've got 2 names in the hat, 15, 3 names in the hat, and so on. So it's £5 for an entry. Make sure in the comments you put Shearer's shirt and then any other comment that you want to make. But as long as Shearer's shirt is in there, I know that you've put in for it. And the draw will be made in 2 weeks' time on this show. So get yourself across to PayPal, use that email address, use the friends and family to send money, and every £5 you go in the draw for the shirt. So thank you in advance for that. Keep them coming, guys. Everything raised from that will go to my charity, Parkinson's UK, as I'm trying to get up to 600 quid for that, and then send them a nice check for that, which will be lovely. So thanks in advance for that. If you want to win that shirt, get yourself over to PayPal now, and however many entries you want, it's £5 an entry. So if you send us 20 quid, that's 4 times your name is going in the hat. But the draw will be in 2 weeks, so it's open for 2 weeks, guys. So get yourself winning a shirt. Chipper says, John, are you using butter with Joelinton on the ASMR channel lately? Oh dear. Troll says, saw Joelinton smashing his head against the wall, but when I got closer, saw John with a huge smile. Oh no. We're not going there. Keith says Joe Kinnear. I don't know whether he means as to come in or one of the worst managers.
No.
Yes, Joe Kinnear is up there as the worst manager without a shadow of a doubt he is. But you know, we are talking about the way that Steve Bruce has disrespected the club by the way he speaks about the fans, you know, falling out with players, just his all-round attitude to Newcastle United, considering he thinks he's a fan. It just stinks from all aspects. Kendo says, no way and honest, no BS manager like Chris Wilder would work under Ashley. Yeah, we've got that problem with every manager we're looking for. Who will believe Ashley's promises if he's still owning the club?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Thomas says, search up the spiny pig. Peter?
God. Go on.
But don't take a drink before you see this one. I don't think that'll be wise. Steve Bruce says, Joelinton loves a bit of WD-40. Archer says, I believe Joelinton could be the next Neil from the In-Betweeners while he has a shit on the water slide, while you got Steve Bruce as well sliding some Joelinton shit. What a wanker. Archer, I think you need help. I honestly do. Kobe says, Craig Hope has just said that ASM was given permission and it was just for checks and now he needs to continue his rehab. I'm not sure about that. I think, you know, they could be sending Craig Hope any kind of... There's the spiny pig on the screen. I'm not sure it's quite as good as the Les Dawson one, to be honest.
Definitely not.
Steve says,
just spot on.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Bede says, will Mrs. Doubtfire get the boot? He does actually look like Mrs. Doubtfire as well. Yeah. I have thought that for a while, to be honest. Chucky Boy says, I feel if Fulham win their next game, we're as good as relegated. I mean, is that the case, John? Do you think if Fulham go ahead of us, is that it?
Depends on the Saturday's game. If you get beat off Brighton, we go in the bottom 3. Well, I've said many a time, we get in the bottom 3 and Bruce is still manager at the club, I think we're done, mate. But Bruce gets sacked after Brighton game. If you get beat, then get Ben Jones in, then we've got a good chance of staying up.
Yeah. Corby says, who's Ditchy? That's me. My name is Paul Ditchburn. My nickname's been Ditchy all my life. That's why my email address is Ditchy_1276. But thanks for asking. There's Mrs. Doubtfire. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Bede says, John, has Joelinton got a Brazilian or a landing strip? Dear me. Kendo says, when Joelinton tried to curl one off at the far post, did you really think it was a shot or a Cleveland steamer? Matthew says, Joelinton has been spotted outside Asda having a shit on the floor.
The Ashton one. The Ashton one.
I don't know, John. You probably know more than we do. Matthew says, Joelinton is afraid to shoot. He needs to effort from this club. He isn't a Premier League level at all. Yeah, I agree with that. He's not. Steve says, Emil Kraft reckons PD Molelock. That's your new name, but everybody thinks you're the mole now, Peter. I don't know where that's come from. Like, you love Swedish meatballs. No wonder he had a limp today. That takes the heat off John, I guess. I'll work under John, giving him a rusty trombone.
Oh no, that's terrible. Oh. Didn't need to hear that.
Whoever this Joelinton is on here, I'm sure it's either Chippers or Archie, and I really do.
Yeah,
I do.
Wouldn't surprise me if there was either one of them.
Exactly. Ian says, saw Joelinton celebrating on the golf course the other day. I had to explain to him it's a hole-in-one you need, not a hole in 101. That's a good point. Matthew says, pop, dop, top, whoop. I think that's Mrs. Doubtfire, isn't it, who does that? John and Joelinton spit roasted Steve Bruce.
Oh.
Kendo says, at least Mrs. Doubtfire got the support from the kids. Keith says, to be fair to Ashley, he did have a good transfer window last summer, Wilson, Fraser and Lewis. Yeah, but Wilson's getting injured all the time because Bruce doesn't train them properly. Fraser gets injured all the time because Bruce doesn't play them properly. And Lewis has lost all his confidence because Bruce doesn't train them properly. So
yeah, exactly. It all not getting the best of it all.
Yeah, Paul, you should get yourself down from level 7. That must be well high up. I feel dizzy. Yeah, I'm just not turning around, mate, because I'm stuck here now. Tom says, John, how small is your bedroom? Even Joelinton wouldn't fit in there. Hope you have a spare bedroom for him. I don't really want to know how. I really don't want to know how small John's bedroom is, to be honest. It's frightening. John and Joelinton have been spotted having a Cleveland steamer in our public motorway.
Oh, Jesus.
Right, why? Why would you do that on a public motorway?
Broke down.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Kendo says, I've never laughed so much. Thanks, Kendo. Kobe says, I will wonder when fans get into St. James's Park, the atmosphere will be terrible and all at Steve Bruce. We need to think of a chant for the Sheffield United at home. To be honest, Kobe, I don't think they'll be chanting at Steve Bruce. I think there'll be rocks, cabbages, knives, guns, the whole shebang ready for Steve Bruce when fans are allowed back in. John, if you had to pick, who would it be, Mrs. Doubtfire or Steve Bruce?
Oh, Christ.
Come on, that's an easy question.
I'll get this one, but definitely lost.
Eh?
Sorry.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Pass. Let it go.
John says a new tune for the Toon instead of Local Hero. How about Down, Down, Deeper and Down? Yeah. That basically sums us up 100% at the minute, doesn't it? The old. I was a big fan of Status Quo. Still am, to be honest. Chipper says, John, have you got your cheerleaders outfit for when fans are back for Joelinton? John and Joelinton both skip through Ashington's as they're wearing their tutus on a weekly basis. And Matthew says, I heard rumours that when fans are allowed back at the matches, the stewards are going to serve season ticket holders roast dinners. Really? Well,
I doubt it.
If that's true, it'd be a long way for us to come over, man, for a roast dinner.
So if we get served roast dinners, they're all going to be chucked at Bruce.
I'm sure. Yeah, of course they will. Joelinton says, I'm not Archer or Chippers, I'm called Zach. Well, hello, Zach. You're certainly giving us a laugh, mate. Kobe says, would you pay £100 out of your own money right now if it would mean Steve Bruce would be sacked? 100% yes. Absolutely. No doubt about it.
Cheap.
Sure. Kendo says we need a mass public protest with a coordinated Cleveland steamer for the first day when fans are back in the stadium. Yeah, we just need one of them Rajis who goes with no tops on just to go run on the pitch and a Cleveland steamer right on the centre circle. And then put a flag in it saying we hate Steve Bruce.
Or we could get War Flags to do a big, massive Stephen Cleamer on Steve Bruce's face banner.
Yeah, without a doubt. Michael said, heard Joelinton's celebration when he finally scores a goal is giving John a Dutch windmill. No. Steve Bruce has been seen in Tesco with a massive nappy on. He soiled it and everyone was laughing at the massive patch of shit on his back. Oh my God. Beat says, John and Joelinton playing Catch Me If You Can while skipping together through a road field. Oh dear me. The last half of the hour of this show just goes to pot, doesn't it, really? It really does. It just goes to pot. Tony says, honestly, I feel for your under 23s. Imagine being that committed and watching those work shy buggers. Yeah, I mean, they're getting told to work hard and do this and do that, and then they watch the first team get away with everything. Steve Bruce says, the security informed me that before the Sheffield United match, there will be a stall outside the ground selling 10k cabbages. Well, yeah. Joelinton says, can John please do the helicopter? He nearly did the other week when he got up to stretch. Barry was ashamed.
Not good.
Has everyone forgotten about the Dutch rudder? No, we haven't forgotten about the Dutch rudder, to be honest. But you know, if you want to know what the Dutch rudder is, please go and ask Carl from Newcastle Fans TV, and I'm sure he'll be delighted to tell you. Taylor says Joelinton has gone from a cock to a vag due to John's overexcitement after these streams. Oh dear God. Tom says just John and Joelinton having a Cleveland steamer in John's allotment. Oh my God. Kobe says I've got a feeling that the club will let no fans sit anywhere near the dugout to protect Steve Bruce. Yeah, I think when the 10,000 go back, I don't think they're going to allow any fans near the dugout. Barry?
No, I don't think they will. I think they'll be spread out, won't they? And they'll be in the other opposite directions, maybe in the Gallagher and in the Stranger Hall stand, if it's still named that. But just give an update in the Liverpool Wolves game. The Wolves goalkeeper's gone down and he's not moving. It's quite worrying.
Oh God!
I don't know what's going, stretches out and everything. I don't know why he's down though, because there was no collision for what I could see. It's a bit weird. He's just flat out. So
you don't like see players go down with there's nobody around them. You've seen that too much happening. I hope he's okay. Keep us informed anyway.
Yeah.
Chipper says, John, who has the best meat? You or Joelinton?
Come on, John.
He's not going to answer that, is he? Just seen Joelinton having a Cleveland steamer in John's allotment. No wonder his Sunday dinners are awful. Oh my God.
Oh, Jesus.
Tony says, by the way, Anderson is a class act. What a waste. Well, we've said a million times that Anderson should be playing, Peter.
Well, yeah, why not give him a chance? This is the chance to give some of these youngsters an opportunity. Well, yeah, Bruce doesn't do it, does he?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Imagine if when Steve
ASM
Bruce
rates him, doesn't he?
Well, he says he does, but you know, I mean, a lot of they've been talking Anderson up for a long time now, but they won't give him a chance in the first team. But this is when it all comes down to Steve Bruce being a coward. Guys, there's about just over 10 minutes left of the show. If you want to win the Newcastle United shirt for one last time, I'll give you the information. That's the shirt you could win with Shearer's name on the back. What you need to do is go to PayPal and you need to put in send money to that PayPal address, which is mine. Go through friends and family. It's £5 to enter. Put in the comments Shearer's shirt, so I know that's what the money's for. That's what you're entering. All proceeds from this will go to Parkinson's UK charity. It's running for 2 weeks. The draw will be made live on the show in 2 weeks' time. So please do, if you want to, that is, try and win the shirt. You can donate. You can have as many goes as you want. You can have 4 or 5 times your name in the hat. It doesn't matter. It's £5 on an accumulated basis, so every £5. So if you pay 20 quid, you'll get your name in the hat 4 times, so a much bigger chance of winning. So like I say, it's running over 2 weeks. Just head over to PayPal and use the friends and family option to send money to that email address. £5, £10, 15, whatever you want to pay. But like I say, every accumulation of £5 will get your name in the hat. So thank you in advance for that. Let's go back to the comments. I dread to think what's come in the last couple of minutes, to be honest. Let's have a look. All I can see is Cleveland steamer.
This injury must be really, really bad, by the way.
Is he still down?
The cameras haven't even gone back to him. And Connor Cody is not looking too clever either. He's looking very worried.
Wow.
This is really serious.
Oh, my God. Hope he's okay. Archer says, I believe Joelinton is in ordering McDonald's, making orgasm noises to the caller on the other end. No, that's something you do, Archer. That is something you do, not Joelinton. Dave says, thing is, how are the club going to choose which fans get in? I don't know. I don't know. We'll keep it down yet. We know. Kendo says, don't worry, John, the 6-foot COVID restriction won't stop jail's lengthy steamer getting intimate with you. Kendo, you've changed over the course of this show. Bede says, John and Joelinton seen playing hide and seek in the showers. Anyone with any information, please contact us. Taylor says, John gave Bruce's wife a Cleveland steamer as Bruce sat and watched in disbelief. Interviewer, what is your reaction to that then? Bruce said, well, I wanted to join, but she isn't out left. Oh, God. Kobe says, Mudo will be our striker next year.
Yeah, he's just on loan, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, would that be an opportunity? I think it is. I'm not sure. I'm
not sure on that one.
I tell you what, though, I wouldn't be too unhappy if Mudo was our striker next season.
I agree.
I like Mudo.
Mm-hmm. I just didn't think he a bigger chance.
Exactly. I don't think he's played as. I don't think he's had that opportunity to get a good run of games, to be honest. Kendo says, what's your top 3 relegation players to get shot off? Peter? The top 3 players, if we go down, who you would... This isn't who will leave. This is who you want shot of if we go down.
I would say Shelvey, Joelinton, Hendrick.
I think that's a good 3. John?
Stack says PDs.
Yep, it's the same 3 as me, actually. Barry?
Yeah, I can't disagree with that at all. I can't think of anybody else who would want it with him more than them 3.
John and Joelinton have been spotted jumping into Blythe River with Ashley and Charnley. Interesting. Chipper says, John said to Joelinton, here, pet, do you like jewellery? Suck my meat, it's a gem.
That's a good chat-up line. Doesn't work, though.
Yeah.
Making this as well, guys, as well, about talking about a takeover. Wigan is being taken over, has been agreed to be taken over from League One. So,
all right.
Wigan Racers Club being taken over. Well, will be taken over.
Apparently, Connor Cody collided with his own goalkeeper.
I didn't see that. He must have. Salah scored. It was offside. And
it was a knee to the head, apparently. Knee to the head, that could be quite nasty. Still down. Right. Jesus Christ.
Still down. The players are all in the centre circle. It's been about 5-6 minutes now.
Yeah. Matthew says, Paul, out of curiosity, what's your order when you go to the chip shop? It's fish, chips, and mushy peas for me. I've got to have mushy peas with fish and chips, to be honest. So,
any sauce?
Can't be that.
I'll just put loads of ketchup on when I get home, mate.
Ketchup as well.
I vinegar on the fish and then ketchup, but I don't go for all this tartar sauce nonsense. I don't know who invented tartar sauce, but the one shooting. Taylor says Archer took her down a mannequin in Ann Summers and done a Cleveland steamer. Martin says no fans will be allowed within throwing distance of the cabbage. Yeah, you can just see that. Muto is our fail-safe for the championship. Wolves used all substitutes, but the concussion rules mean they can put another goalkeeper on. I don't mind the concussion rule as long as it's genuine, you know what I mean? And, certain clubs, Manchester City, Liverpool, Manchester United, don't use it to their advantage all the time, like the big clubs would. Kobe says if ASM does remarkably stay and we get relegated, he will absolutely destroy any teams in the championship. He won't stay
all the time because he'll get whacked.
He won't. No.
Exactly.
Be amazed if he did.
He's on 72 a week, and is anyone going to pay that sort of money?
I mean, let's face it. I mean, we made a good point there when say about getting knocked about in the championship. If he thinks he gets knocked about in the Premier League, the championship is like, it's like playing football in Baghdad. It's not easy. Those on computers keep spamming the right arrow to skip 5 seconds and look at John. Why would they want to look? That's a bit okay. Second time a serious head injury for Wolves this season. Yeah, it is because Jimenez got that was a neck, wasn't it? That Jimenez fractured his neck, didn't he? Why does Lee Charnley promise big things in the summer, then disappears into thin air and never heard from again? Well, because he's Lee Charnley is actually working for NASA, and at the minute he's on the little rover driving around on Mars. So if you take a close look, you'll find the little fat man stuck in the little cockpit driving around waving to everybody. Kendo says Joelinton is the tartar sauce of football. I can't disagree with you there, Kendo. That's actually spot on. Kobe says, I hate when no journalist gives Steve Bruce some hard questions at his press conference. In Spain, Gary Neville said that it was so harsh. Why doesn't Keith do it? I'll tell you, it's Keith Downey he's talking about, he won't be made to not come anymore. I mean, yeah, we've said this a million times, Peter, but it's never going to change, is it? The media aren't going to ask the tough questions.
No, that's the thing. But if they do, you know what Steve Bruce will try and shut them down as he always does.
Yeah. Chipper says, John loves Joelinton in tartar sauce. Oh, God, I bet he does. Matthew says, I hope Alan Pardew gets the next available Premier League job. He's been out in the wilderness for a few good years now. I don't think Pardew will be that bothered. I think the payoff that he got from Newcastle United probably set him up for life anyway. So, probably like it does most managers. Bede says Penfold is missing. He is indeed. John and Joelinton having a nice romantic date with a nice steak. Joelinton loves cockpit. Oh, God. Kendo says it's been a weird COVID season, Man United, for example, but do you think NUFC would have improved as players said they missed the fans? This is an interesting one because I think had the fans been there, some players might have buckled even worse than they have already. I mean, we know Joelinton freezes when the fans are there, John, but other players may well have just gone to pot if the fans had been in the ground because the atmosphere would have been that toxic for them, and it's very hard to play football in that kind of atmosphere.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, what could I say, man? I mean, if you perform every week and it hasn't been performing that much, then it'll be fine. Mm-hmm. But this is the thing. I mean, it's a hard one to call, man, but it hasn't been a great season, but they've been lucky the fans not being in the stadium. Otherwise, it would have been hell on.
Yeah.
I think we would have got rid of Bruce if the fans were there, though, and that toxic atmosphere. Actually, would have had to have stand up and listen to what we were saying.
Yeah, I would have actually. I think you're right. I think he wouldn't have lasted, and I think a lot of people have actually said that over the last few weeks. Even people from the area who've been, asked about that and said if I think I watched Steve Wraith with Mick Lowes on, I think it was Sunday. He spoke to him on his show, and Mick Lowes said, "Look, if fans were in the stadium, then there's no way we'd still be talking about Steve Bruce to this day because we'd be using Steve Bruce's name in the past tense." And I think that's exactly what we would be doing because I just don't think he would have survived, Barry.
No, I don't think he would have. I think it would have been absolutely a toxic atmosphere. Everyone for 90 minutes would probably concentrate on trying to get rid of Bruce. I think they would have. Just an update, the goalkeeper's now on the stretcher and he's getting pulled off. And he's down for at least 12 minutes. So
is he awake?
He's all right. I can't see. They're taking him off now on a stretcher. So Rudy's coming on for him. But he'd be straight to hospital and he's probably got really bad concussion or maybe a fractured skull potentially if it was a knee today.
Yeah, if it was a knee. I hope he's okay. I guess we'll find out in due course. Go on.
Just quickly on this Bruce situation about fans. I think, me personally, I could be wrong on this, but I think when the fans come back, I think he's going to, and he's still in trouble, I think he's going to walk away because he knows what's coming.
Right. Yeah.
Well, will only be one game with fans, though. I don't think he will walk away. It's only the Sheffield United game, isn't it? And our fate could already be done by then. I can't see him walking away unless he gets his payoff. I think he'd certainly know how the.
Yeah, I think he'd certainly know how the fans feel about him, though. They'll make themselves known because it certainly won't be the prawn brigade that get into the 10,000. There'll be some abuse heading Steve Bruce's way. Chipper says, cracking show. Thanks, mate. John and Joelinton in a divorce settlement. Oh, something you want to tell us, John? Is the great love affair coming to an end?
Yeah.
Kobe says, I bet. Yeah, I bet Lee Mason referees our last game of the season and gets us relegated. That is a horrible thought. It's a horrible thought. Kendo, would you not say Shelvey and Lewis not the most to benefit from fans' encouragement? I don't think it matters to John Joe Shelvey. I really don't. Apparently, the Wolves goalkeeper's on oxygen. That's not a good sign. Tom says John Linton and Joe Linton's fish bar special of chips and a blobfish, £3.50. Pensioners special. John and Joe Linton in the steam room while reenacting Titanic. Oh God.
Oh, God.
Dear me. Fantastic stream tonight. Great banter. Keep it up, lads. Thanks very much. Guys, we're coming to the end of the show, so I'll mention it one more time. The giveaway we're doing, the shirt. If you want this with Shearer's name on the back, if you go to PayPal and go to the donate through friends and family, on that PayPal address on the screen now, it's £5 for every name in the hat. So if you put in the comments Shearer's shirt, and I'll know it's yourself, obviously, who wants it. So it's on for 2 weeks, so you can donate all over the next 2 weeks to that PayPal address, friends and family. If you want to donate £5, that's one name in the hat. £10, two names. £15 is three names in the hat. So the more fivers you put in, the more names your name will go in the hat. So it's for a really good cause for Parkinson's UK. So if you want to win that shirt, head over to PayPal now, and it's that email address there through friends and family. Taylor says John and Joe Linton had an orgy with Blobfish and Bruce's wife, Blebfish. Blob and Bleb. Oh, brilliant. And it got leaked out to the public via security cams at Blythe Butchers. What do you think about Steve Howie's apparent encouragement to Darlow moving on? I don't really blame him. I think Steve Howie's right, to be honest. I think Darlow needs to move on.
I think he's a good number two.
Yeah, but I think he'll want to be number one. That's the thing about Darlow. He'll not want to sit in his arse anymore, not after the season he's had. Chipper says John paints Joe Linton like them French girls.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Jody says great stream. Train Sunday will troll the fans of Bruce apologists. Crowd will be Bruce and Alex Bruce and 9,999 others. Yeah, could be. Who's Rose and who's Jacqueline, John?
Absolutely no idea.
I think you should be Rose. I think you should be Rose, John.
Yes.
Definitely. Hit like and subscribe. Cheers, Geordie. Great stream, lads. Have a good night. Everyone stay safe. Geordie says you're back tomorrow night. Yes, I am. Fan forum at 7 o'clock. So I'll have the link in the live comments as per usual. So you can come on and talk to us about and have a moan about Newcastle. Tom says, Paul, you should have a Newcastle song to finish on your podcast. That would be brilliant, like the Blade and Races. Yeah, I mean, you get copyrighted for it now. So if you put any sort of copyrighted music on your channel, you don't get the monetization for it. So you're copyrighted and you get a strike. So you can get as many strikes as you want. But because I used to have I'm Coming Home Newcastle, and then I tried a few others, but I kept getting copyrighted. So unfortunately, it's a difficult thing to do. Right, last couple of comments. If fans had been in, Bruce would have been gone. Trull says, more lock seen sneaking into Bruce's house having an affair with Bruce's wife. Peter, interesting.
Oh, you dirty dog.
I know. Kendo says, best stream of the week. Thanks, lads. 3-0 to Newcastle. Go the Blobfish Steamers. That's going to be Newcastle United's next nickname. Cheers, Chippers. Great stream, lads. One last time, smash the likes. Thanks very much, Martin. Best laugh of the week. Cheers, fellas. You're welcome. Steve Bruce is sacked. Yeah, we can only hope, Kobe. First time on, guys. Great show. Thanks, Mike. Hope you did subscribe, and subscribe to all the other guys as well. All their channels are linked below in the description. And the final one, or final two, even though I'm a Brighton supporter and Potter also gets stick from the fans, much rather Potter than the dinosaur you got saddled with. Yeah,
I agree with that.
Exactly, David. Exactly. Tom says, John, have you give Barry one of your spare caps?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got one.
Right, just before we go, guys, let's have a prediction for Saturday, Peter. Away at Brighton at the Amex.
I think this could be another draw, 2-2.
Okay, John.
I think it'll be. Sorry to say this, but I'm going to get 1-0 Brighton.
Okay, and Barry.
I'm going for another draw, 1-1.
Right, I'm going for 1-1 myself as well, but I don't think a draw is going to be good enough. Tom's a bit optimistic, going for a 2-1 win. You never know. Right, guys, if you want to make a quick note of that PayPal address before we go. Obviously, you can donate to it over the next 2 weeks. £5 a ticket. Put in the comments, Shearer's shirts, and send it through friends and family on PayPal. But that's it for tonight. Guys, thank you again for coming on. This show has really taken off. We had... at one point tonight, we had over 100 viewers watching, which is absolutely fantastic. It's grown. It's getting better and better every week. And it is thanks to you guys out there as well with your crazy live comments. Some of you actually need a psychiatric help without a shadow of a doubt. But you definitely make the show. So thank you to everybody who's commented tonight and took part in the show. We hope you've had a laugh. We hope you enjoyed it, because that's what we really want from at the end of the day from this. But in the meantime, guys, thank you very much for watching. And I'll be back tomorrow night at 7 o'clock with Fans Forum. So a lot of the fans will come on and have a bit of a rant and a say about the situation at Newcastle at the minute. So until then, we will bid you good night, and the Four Horsemen will see you all again next Monday night at 8 o'clock. Take care, guys. Thanks very much.
See you.